What is going on, everyone? It's me, Troi, and I'm here, of course, again with another video. Of course, if I look like I'm hooded in the eyes, that is because I had absolutely no business getting a latte last night around 5:30 and then subsequently using melatonin gummies to try to get some sleep. Bad idea, bad combination, bad choice. So I'm paying for it for sure on this glorious Sunday afternoon. And if I decide to go to this job tomorrow morning, now I'm gonna need to get some real good sleep going. I'm gonna have to be super proactive in that regard. Anyway, I had a good day yesterday regardless. I wanted to find myself this wireless keyboard for my Kindle tablet because every time I go to the library or bookstores and decide to take my laptop with me, my laptop is 17 inches. It's huge, it's cumbersome, but the thing that gets on my nerves the most is the fact that the minute I turn it on, it sounds like a freaking jet engine for the most times. So basically, if you close your eyes while that thing is running, you would be transported visually to LAX, to the concourse of LAX or John F. Kennedy Airport, whichever one, I don't know, but the most popular airport, Atlanta International Airport, one of them. But the point is that I used to have to try to push it, try to hurry up and get the thing to shut up when I'm in public. So I said, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just going to take my tablet and wireless keyboard, and that's what I'm going to do. And so I did that last night, and that's where the latte came in. Anyway, between that time and battling coldness, rain, and traffic, I went to two different bookstores yesterday. One was Second and Charles, one was Books a Million, and I collected some books. Honestly, this is an unnecessary book haul video, but I'm trying to remain connected with the people here in this platform. So I just want to share those books right quick. Some of the books at the used bookstore I got, I wanted to really focus on just sharing like the newer titles that I've managed to come across, something that's released within the past 5 years. But there's some older stuff here too that I'm just going to try to be swift about. So the first one is I got Time of Death by Susan Whittaker Albert. This hardcover edition of the first book in her China Bales mystery series. I classify them as cozies, although the author says they're not cozy, so I don't think they're cozy series. But for many of you who've watched my channel over the years, you know that I absolutely love Susan Whittaker Albert, love the China Bale series, and I've spoken about those books time and time again throughout the years. But I saw this hardback edition of the first book in the series, although I read it years ago, and it was only $3, so I got a replacement here, and I thought this was good. So second, I ended up getting The Novices Tale by Margaret Fraser. Now this is a duo. The one author I know of for sure is Monica Ferris, who is known for her Needlecraft mystery series. And I'm not sure who the other author is. Part of me is, I can't recall her name, but she's passed, or she's deceased. But the two of them came together to create this series featuring a nun in a medieval setting, which of course with me, the nun is solving mysteries. And I absolutely love mysteries involving history, but most importantly stuff like protagonists who are like clerics or of some religious sect, or a monk, a bishop, a pastor, a nun. I love those type of mysteries and those type of settings that they generally take the reader through. And this is the first book in this series, and I cannot wait to give it a go. So the sister, I can't pronounce her name, Fravis Medieval Mystery, The Novices Tale. And then I got The Lost Years of Merlin by T.a Baron, this is really kind of pretty. I like this. T.a Baron is probably the one fantasy author that I remember growing up reading. My absolute favorite book or fantasy book in the top 5 is The Ancient One by T.a Baron. So I grew up reading this author, but I never read his the Merlin series, and I found the first book in the series. I was actually combing through my bookshelves, and I noticed that I haven't read The Ancient One in over 20 years. The last time I picked up that book was in May of 2003, and I think that this would be a great time to read that book and the other two books in that series all over again. But I'm gonna start by reading The Lost Years of Merlin, the first book, since I never picked it up when I was younger. All right, so with all the older stuff out of the way, now is the books that came out within the past 5 years, as well as one that's a reprint. So the first book I got here is 2 Parts Sugar, 1 Part Murder by Valerie Burns. As you guys know, this is the pen name for the author V.M. Burns. There's a picture there. V.M. Burns is previous series is the Mystery Bookshop Mystery Series. So this right here is a deviation from that, just to a degree. It's a new series basically. I don't have to put too many fancy words to wrap around it. But this is featuring a woman named, her name is Maddie Montgomery, and there's 3 things that I think is probably what really decorates this book in terms of, maybe I won't say themes or motifs, but just maybe just components of what really dresses this as a mystery on its own. But it has to do with the main protagonist's use of being a social media maven. There's the culinary element, as you can see on the cover, which involves a bakery that her aunt owned, and then there's the dog, so there's the pet tie-in as well. So 2 Parts Sugar, 1 Part Murder is the first book in the Baker Street mystery by Valerie Burns, and we'll see what it gives. This was on my Amazon list for a long time, and I saw it at Books A Million. I was just like, let me grab it. So I support the author as well as the story itself. So we'll see what it gives later on. And then I found this book in the bargain section for $7.97. Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowen. Now listen, I don't generally read young adult books, so what I'm about to say is that I already know that you guys know every single freaking thing about this book. It's me. I'm the one who's old and I'm the one who's late. Y'all know everything about it. I've seen this cover time and time again, and I thought this cover was beautiful. I actually think a lot of the young adult books are kind of killing it when it comes to the cover arts. Okay. But Skin of the Sea, I've always seen the cover, always loved it. And the funny thing is that I never investigated any further than my admiration of the cover. So I happened to see this book at the bargain section, and for the first time, I actually looked into what the book was about, and I was kind of thrown aback to know that it is about black mermaids, or it takes on the mythology, the African mythology surrounding mermaids. There's a specific name to them, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But regardless, I was like, mermaids, black mermaids. I was like, what? The whole time I've been admiring this cover, I never knew what it was about. And here I am settling on the fact that it is something that I find actually pretty interesting. So I can't wait to get into it. Like I said, I'm old and I am late. Y'all already talked about it over here. I know it. I'm sure. I'm sure. So it just let it be. Just don't tell me what it's about. Okay, that's all I want to say. That's all I want to say. Next, I got Mystic by Jason Denzel. There is a little bit of significance in this author because, as you can probably see here, he is the founder of Dragon Mount. Jason Denzel is prolific in regards to his activity surrounding the Wheel of Time and the Dragon Mount website, which is where for years readers of the Wheel of Time has converged to share opinions, thoughts, that sort of thing. The author actually, I believe, at one point was in communication with Robert Jordan before he passed. So naturally, if he's going to go off into writing books, it's going to be fantasy. And what Mystic is about, it's about a woman who, underneath sort of like this discriminating or off-putting title, is known as a commoner. For her aspirations is to be that of a mystic, what they call a mystic, which I believe is akin to a woman or someone with the ability to use magic in this particular world. Her issue is that she has to go through 3 different challenges in order for her to be solidified and reclaim her identity as a mystic. But in the meantime, she has to, offset her origins as what they call a commoner. So we'll see what it gives. I'm really interested in see how much maybe the Wheel of Time has influenced Jason Denzel's work, and it looks like it's going to be a decent one. I'm hoping it is. There's a hummingbird on the cover, so that's kind of a fair shot. Next I got The Monsters We Defy, which I actually bought maybe like 2 weeks ago from a same bookstore, but it's by Leslie Penelope. I've always saw this book when it first came out. I love the covers. The cover artist knows how to use colors. All right, like this, I just love this. It's just beautiful to me. I I think this is kind of a Lovecraftian maybe situation going on, but if I can really try to comb through what I got or received from the synopsis, it's about a woman named Clara Johnson, who has the ability to speak to spirits. She's a medium, she's a communicator of the spirit world, but she ends up making a deal with some, I guess you can say, some fairly dark or nefarious type of creature, which there's a debt attached. So her job is to relieve herself of this, and the way to do this is for her to steal this ring from this wealthy woman. I'm assuming that the ring is tied to some kind of magical ability. But the point is that this book is going to be blending a lot of different interesting things that I can't wait to really kind of get into, besides the fact that it takes place, I'm thinking, in the 20s, given the hat here. But it's going to take place there. There's subject, it's going to be in the DC area, as they race along DC's legendary Black Broadway. There's, of course, mediumship, maybe even a touch of voodoo, perhaps, just, outline that subject. But definitely the occult is a part of the recipe for this book. And we'll just kind of see what it gives. I can't really hit all the points, but just know that I was really interested in this book when I first saw it, and I found a used copy and I was like elated, completely elated. So I don't know if this has made its rounds in the booktube space, but if it has, I'm always late. I'm old and late. And the last book is a book that I've been wanting to read for a while. It's a reprint from a 1959 book, and it's The Charioteer by Mary Renault. What attracted me to this book is, I don't recall how I came across this, but something about it's the first book with a gay couple in story, in lead, prominent, first front face, etc., or main protagonist at least. But it has to do with this man named Laurie, who is in convalescence after World War II, or during World War II, where he meets this man named Andrew, and their friendship begins to blossom. I think it has the effect of slowly blooming into that of love. But Laurie is sort of distracted by a mentor of his who is leading a much more, I guess you would go ahead and say, seedier life on the outskirts, and the mentor is trying to pull Laurie closer and closer to him. But of course, Laurie is still attached to the man named Andrew that he met in convalescence. So there's that tug of war of which direction Laurie is going to go into. And it's a romantic novel. I'm saying mostly. So it looks like we're going to be moving much more towards Andrew, but the conflict, it's kind of what is the main pull of this book in deciding what is Laurie going to do. So The Charioteer is on my list. And this cover, he looks like somebody that I don't know personally, but I don't want to say who that person is, but that's what he looked like, and I ain't trying to be bringing that up in these videos. So anyway, guys, that is it. That's what I just want to share right quick. Came to chat, came to make it quick, came to go. Gonna sip my tea and try to pull myself together. So if you read any of these books, please let me know down below what you thought without giving them away. Some of them just look like they just got so much to offer, and I'm hoping that they do so. But that's it. I gotta go. Bye.